Number 16, Taylor Barkley. That's just inflation, guys. Taylor Barkley has a question. Have you studied the Galilean Wedding being justification for a pre-trib rapture? Yes, I have. I'm having a hard time finding trusted sources that teach on this. Thank you for your ministry. You rock. Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. By the way, did I show you guys my new camera effect? Check this out. This is my new camera effect. It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. You can get this. It's not very expensive. You just have to get a giant magnifying glass. And then you can have the camera effect. So yeah, I have looked into the Galilean Wedding, and when I did my study, I did my study on like 4 views, I don't remember anymore, of Christian views of the end times. And that included like some rapture discussions and stuff in there as well. And a lot of people commented like, Mike, it's the wedding analogy. The wedding analogy proves the pre-trib rapture. Here's the problem with this. The Jewish traditions that we see today, or that we even see 1,000 years ago, that doesn't mean that those were the same traditions in the day of Jesus. And what's really difficult to do is to take these Jewish wedding traditions and to prove that they were happening in the time of Jesus. So what you called the Galilean wedding, it may not have been the Galilean wedding during the time of Christ. And until somebody can show that it was, that this isn't a later tradition, we can't really use it to try to prove that Jesus had it in mind when he was describing the coming of the Son of Man. And so I'm not saying it's false. I'm saying it's not proven. You can have it out there as a possibility. You can consider it, but we need to see 1st century or earlier, or maybe even 2nd century sources that indicate that this is part of a tradition that was ongoing during the time. There's a lot that happens. Like even now, we, for instance, Christians, we see these Passover celebrations where they're like, the Jews do this, the Jews do that, the Jews do this. And you're like, I read my Bible and there wasn't nearly that many traditions. Yes, many of these came later, but many of these have come long after the time of Christ. So we might say like, oh, they're hiding the matzah and they're doing all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, but were they doing that in Jesus's day? I don't want to be anachronistic where I read later things into the 1st century and then maybe misunderstand the meanings that they had. So I'm not saying the pre-trib rapture is wrong. I'm saying I think this Galilean wedding argument is a wrong argument to support the pre-trib rapture because it doesn't seem substantiated as a 1st century tradition, in my experience. And I've never seen anybody, I've looked into it, I've never seen anybody show me. So I'm open to it, haven't seen the evidence.